Imagine this. One moment, the sun is blazing in the sky, its light and warmth sustaining life on Earth. Then, in an instant, it's gone. No warning, no explosion, just empty space where the sun used to be. It's a terrifying thought, but what would really happen if our sun, the heart of the solar system, vanished completely? The answers might surprise you, but they'll also remind you just how fragile and interconnected life really is. The first question is, how long would it take for us to realize the sun was gone? Interestingly, it wouldn't be immediate. Light from the sun takes about 8 minutes and 20 seconds to travel the 93 million miles to Earth. That means if the sun vanished, we'd still see daylight and feel its warmth for a little over 8 minutes. But when those 8 minutes are up, everything changes. The sky would go completely black, not like nighttime, but total darkness. The moon would disappear because it only shines by reflecting sunlight. And without the sun's light scattering through our atmosphere, the sky would lose its blue hue and turn utterly black. Stars would still be visible, but their faint twinkling wouldn't be enough to light up the Earth. It would feel like being plunged into an endless void. Earth would fly off into space. The sun doesn't just give us light and heat. It's also the gravitational anchor of the solar system. Its massive gravity keeps Earth and the other planets in orbit. If the sun disappeared, Earth wouldn't keep circling the same empty spot in space. Instead, it would fly off in a straight line, following the trajectory it was on at the moment the sun disappeared. This is because gravity, like light, travels at the speed of light. For those same 8 minutes and 20 seconds, Earth would still feel the sun's gravitational pull. After that, Earth would become a rogue planet, drifting through space. The same fate would happen to the other planets, moons, and countless asteroids in the solar system. They'd scatter in all directions, creating chaos as objects collided or drifted into the vast emptiness between stars. Without the sun's gravitational influence, the delicate balance of the solar system would unravel completely. Some planets might eventually get caught by other stars, but many would wander endlessly, becoming lonely worlds in the dark. The end of photosynthesis and the food chain. The sun is the primary energy source for life on Earth. Without it, photosynthesis, the process plants use to convert sunlight into energy, would stop almost immediately. Plants are the foundation of Earth's food chain. When they die, everything else that depends on them, herbivores, carnivores, and even decomposers, would start to starve. While some plants could survive for weeks by relying on stored energy, most would wither within a few days. Algae, which produce much of the oxygen we breathe, would stop functioning, and the oxygen levels in our atmosphere would slowly decline. The collapse of ecosystems would happen shockingly fast. In addition to the loss of oxygen and food sources, humans would face another major problem. No sunlight means no agriculture. Even with artificial light, we wouldn't be able to grow enough food to sustain billions of people. Starvation would become a global crisis within months. The temperature plummets. The sun keeps Earth warm, maintaining an average global temperature of about 59 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 degrees Celsius. Without it, temperatures would start dropping immediately. Within a week, the surface temperature would fall below freezing. Within a year, the average temperature would reach around minus 100 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 73 degrees Celsius. At this point, Earth's surface would be too cold for most life to survive. The oceans, which store vast amounts of heat, would take longer to freeze. First, a layer of ice would form on the surface. Over time, the ice would grow thicker, eventually freezing most of the ocean solid. Only the deepest parts of the oceans, heated by geothermal energy from the Earth's core, might remain liquid for a while longer. Humans would need to retreat underground or into specially designed habitats to survive. Bunkers powered by nuclear or geothermal energy could provide heat and light for small communities. But even in the best-case scenario, life would become incredibly difficult. The Earth's surface would be a frozen, pitch-black wasteland. Deep sea life might survive. Interestingly, not all life on Earth would die immediately. In the deep ocean, near hydrothermal vents, there are ecosystems that don't rely on sunlight at all. These vents release heat and chemicals from the Earth's interior, providing energy for strange organisms like tube worms, bacteria, and giant clams. These creatures live in complete darkness already, already, so the disappearance of the sun wouldn't affect them directly. However, even these ecosystems wouldn't last forever. Over time, as the Earth cooled, volcanic and tectonic activity would slow down, cutting off the heat that powers these vents. Eventually, even these resilient forms of life would face extinction. What happens to the solar system? The sun's disappearance wouldn't just affect Earth. It would throw the entire solar system into chaos. Planets, moons, and asteroids would drift apart, no longer bound by the sun's gravity. Collisions between celestial objects would become more likely, creating new debris fields. Farther out, regions like the Kuiper Belt, home to icy objects like Pluto, and the Oort cloud, a distant shell of comets, would disperse. The solar system as we know it would cease to exist, replaced by a scattering of rogue planets and drifting space rocks. Could humanity survive? Humans are resilient, but surviving without the sun would be nearly impossible in the long term. In the short term, we could rely on stored food and artificial energy sources like nuclear power. Underground bunkers or space stations might provide temporary refuge for small populations. However, humanity's biggest challenge would be finding a new energy source. Without sunlight, agriculture would fail, and we'd lose the ability to sustain large populations. Even advanced technologies, like fusion power, couldn't replace the sun's role in maintaining ecosystems and regulating Earth's climate. To escape this fate, we'd need to leave Earth entirely. Colonizing another planet around a different star might be possible someday, but with current technology, it's not realistic. The nearest star, Proxima Centauri, is over 4 light-years away, a journey that would take tens of thousands of years with today's spacecraft. The sun's cosmic importance. The sun is more than just a glowing ball of gas. It's the heart of our solar system and a critical part of our galaxy. Stars like the sun play a role in the formation of planets, the movement of galaxies, and even the creation of the elements that make up life. If the sun disappeared, it wouldn't just affect Earth, it would ripple out into the universe. Our solar system would become a faint memory, and the delicate balance that holds galaxies together would shift ever so slightly. The sun is the silent engine of life on Earth, and the glue that holds the solar system together. Its disappearance would be catastrophic, not just for us, but for the entire structure of the cosmos. So, the next time you see the sun rise, take a moment to appreciate it. It's not just keeping you warm, it's keeping you alive.